Hello and welcome back to my vlog, Essays on the Constitution of the United States, Part 21, Agrippa 13, Part 2. In Article 3, Section 2, it is declared that the judicial power shall extend to all cases in law and equity arising under this Constitution, the laws of the United States, and treaties made or which shall be made under their authority. Among the cases arising under this new Constitution are reckoned all controversies between citizens of different states, which include all kinds of civil causes between those parties. The giving Congress a power to appoint courts for such a purpose is as much, there being no stipulation to the contrary, giving them power to legislate for such causes, as giving them a right to raise an army is giving them a right to direct the operations of the army when raised. But it is not left to implication. The last clause of Article 1, Section 8 expressly gives them power to make all laws which shall be needful and proper for carrying into execution the foregoing powers and all other powers vested by this Constitution in the government of the United States, or in any department or officer thereof. It is, therefore, as plain as words can make it, that they have a right by this proposed form to legislate for all kinds of causes respecting property between citizens of different states. That this power extends to all cases between citizens of the same state is evident from the 6th article, which declares all continental laws and treaties to be the supreme law of the land, and that all state judges are bound thereby. Anything in the Constitution or laws of any state to the contrary, notwithstanding. If this is not binding the judges of the separate states in their own office by continental rules, it is perfect nonsense. There is then a complete consolidation of the legislative powers in all cases respecting property. This power extends to all cases between a state and citizens of another state. Hence, a citizen, possessed of the notes of another state, may bring his action, and there is no limitation that the execution shall be levied on the public property of the state, but the property of individuals is liable. This is a foundation for endless confusion and discord. This right to try causes between a state and citizens of another state involves in it all criminal causes, and a man who has accidentally transgressed the laws of another state must be transported, with all his witnesses, to a third state to be tried. He must be ruined to prove his innocence. These are necessary parts of the new system, and it will never be complete till they are reduced to practice. They effectually prove a consolidation of the states, and we have before shown the ruinous tendency of such a measure. By Section 8 of Article 1, Congress are to have the unlimited right to regulate commerce, external and internal, and may therefore create monopolies which have been universally injurious to all the subjects of the countries that have adopted them, excepting the monopolists themselves. They have also the unlimited right to imposts and all kinds of taxes, as well to levy as to collect them. They have indeed very nearly the same powers claimed formerly by the British Parliament. Can we have so soon forgot our glorious struggle with that power as to think a moment of surrendering it now? It makes no difference in principle whether the National Assembly was elected for 7 years or for 6. In both cases we should vote to great disadvantage, and therefore ought never to agree to such an article. Let us make provision for the payment of the interest of our part of the debt, and we shall be fairly acquitted. Let the fund be an impost on our foreign trade, and we shall encourage our manufactures. But if we surrender the unlimited right to regulate trade and levy taxes, imposts will oppress our foreign trade for the benefit of other states, while excises and taxes will discourage our internal industry. The right to regulate trade without any limitations will, as certainly as it is granted, transfer the trade of this state to Pennsylvania. That will be the seat of business and of wealth, while the extremes of the empire will, like Ireland and Scotland, be drained to fatten an overgrown capital. Under our present equal advantages, the citizens of this state come in for their full share of commercial profits. Surrender the rights of taxation and commercial regulation, and the landed states at the southward will all be interested in draining our resources. For whatever can be got by impost on our trade and excises on our manufactures will be considered as so much saved to a state inhabited by planters. All savings of this sort ought surely to be made in favor of our own state, and we ought never to surrender the unlimited powers of revenue and trade to uncommercial people. If we do, the glory of the state from that moment departs, never to return. The safety of our constitutional rights consists in having the business of governments lodged in different departments and in having each part well defined. By this means, each branch is kept within the constitutional limits. Never was a fairer line of distinction than what may be easily drawn between the continental and state governments. The latter provide for all cases, whether civil or criminal, that can happen ashore, because all such causes must arise within the limits of some state. Transactions between citizens may all be fairly included in this idea, even although they should arise in passing by water from one state to another. But the intercourse between us and foreign nations properly forms the department of Congress. They should have the power of regulating trade under such limitations as should render their laws equal. They should have the right of war and peace, saving the equality of rights and the territory of each state. But the power of naturalization and internal regulation should not be given them. To give my scheme a more systematic appearance, I have thrown it into the form of a resolve, which is submitted to your wisdom for amendment, but not as being perfect. And we have another resolve from him in the last of Agrippa 13, Part 3, which we'll take up the next time. Make it a great day, and bye for now.